What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Dave Gold Evolve podcast. We've got a incredible guest today. I am super pumped for this episode about energy awareness with Glenn Ackerman. So thank you so much for joining us, Glenn.
It was my pleasure to be here.
Amazing. So Glenn has been coaching some of the most incredible high performers in different industries for decades now on how they can raise their energy, be more aligned with their energy, understand it better, activate it. And, you know, I'm obviously very interested to learn more about what you do, share that with my audience. But first, I want to hear, how did you get into this energy awareness training? Where did it all start? Where did you grow up, by the way?
I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, just north of the Golden Gate Bridge, in a place called Marin County, California. And I had I had a good upbringing. I had mom and dad, and a lot of love growing up. But I also, in my house, had to deal with a lot of tension and a lot of anxiety because my mom and dad used to fight big time, and I
Oh,
mean to
yeah.
the point where it was like a war zone. And
My
and it had an
mine fought a
effect on.
lot too. I can relate to
Okay.
that.
I bet a lot of people on the broadcast can relate to that.
Definitely, definitely.
And it got to the point where, one of my parents definitely started moving into some pretty dark states of anger and depression and stuff. And I left home early, at 17 because I couldn't take it anymore. And I thought, well, okay, now that I'm out, I'm free to seek my fortune, and go to school and make a business and find my dream girl, like all guys want to do. And yet I found out that even though I left the tension and stress and anxiety at the house, that stress, tension, and anxiety didn't leave me, and it
Mm.
was still inside me, and I was still dealing with this inner world of negative thinking, of thoughts of not being good enough or not being able to get what I want, or not just it was like I had this genie inside me that was just filled with negativity. And I'm like, how do I get this thing out? And then I discovered the personal development world, which I just dove into. I thought, wow, a place where you can learn how to be a better person and how to overcome your negativity and your challenges. So I just dived into this at a relatively early age, still in my teens, and read every book I could read about Think and Grow Rich, or Tony Robbins, or Dale Carnegie, or hundreds of books, and started taking all these workshops and seminars and stuff. And I made a little progress, and I had a great ride. But after about 10 years of that, and actually becoming a personal development speaker and working for some of the biggest names, in personal development
Like
and
who?
neuro-linguistic program, the guys who started NLP, who taught Tony Robbins, worked with them. I worked with some major spiritual healers, like the man who started the World Pranic Healing Foundation. I was his student, and he took me on. I had a real fortune that these great teachers took a liking to me when they met me. And
Yeah.
it's happened about 4 or 5 different times that I would jump the line from their students, from beginners, and go all the way to the inner circle pretty quickly.
Mhm.
And I did that. Worked with Richard Bandler for a few years, and toured the world with him. I was his music director, and then I worked with the Energy Master from the World Healing Pranic Foundation. Started studying deep spirituality and mysticism with Sufis and with Kabbalah rabbis, and moved into learning about quantum and science from some scientists. And so all of this was a journey of basically, I'm learning all this stuff because I want to fix myself. I don't like the way I feel inside. you know, and the pain that I went through, you know, growing up and all that stuff, it stuck with me. It was like it happened yesterday. And of course, you know, I kept it really down, and my public self was, you know, outgoing and professional, but my inner world was one of a, like a tug of war between good and bad, and feeling good and not feeling good, and etc. And that brought me, you know, as I mentioned, almost 2 decades of being in this field. I hadn't really got the results I was looking for. And I tried, I mean, you name it, I tried it, or I either tried it or taught it, but I didn't get to that place where I knew that that stuff was still in there until I learned about energy medicine, energy psychology, which is the ability to use the human energy field as a way to make changes, to change your life, to heal yourself, and to move towards, you know, big goals and big visions that you have for yourself. And when I found out about this, I dove into it, and but there wasn't really anything that specifically that could address the issues that I was dealing with. So, you know, I had a couple of big insights, big revelations, and I was able to develop a system where I was able to heal and dissolve all of that darkness inside me.
What was your first big insight when it came to energy? So, and also, were you just based in Los Angeles, or were you and San Fran, or were you traveling around the world?
I had done a lot of traveling. I traveled and studied with different people, you know, all over the world, and it was an adventure in touring. So it wasn't just there, but it's interesting that where I grew up is kind of like the epicenter of personal development and consciousness, the San Francisco Bay Area. A lot of places are up there, but I moved down here. I moved down to Los Angeles, actually become a studio composer for movies and TV, and being a rock and roll band. And I did that for a little while. And it's funny how things open up and then things close, you know, without you thinking about it. Like I did that for a few years, and then that industry kind of went on its belly, and I had to do something else, and I got led here and kind of led there. And with all these things, that the realization is that it was that all of this personal development stuff, the books and the seminars that I went to, were all a variation of a way of thinking about things, like think positive, for example, or make a goal and visualize it, and then it'll come true. And all the stuff that I read in these books, they didn't happen. I mean, I followed the books and it didn't work. And I'm thinking, why? And then I found out that the personal development industry, by and large, has about a 97% failure rate. And this blew my mind. And I'm thinking the books and the industry itself. And then I got has a 97% of the people who read a book or do a course or something will do another book and another course and another thing. And they'll keep going on. And I thought, hey, that was me. I did this and I didn't get the results. So I wanted to do something else. And maybe this is a thing. And it was. So
you're saying like, let's get rid of the stepping stones and let's have one amazing experience so that you don't need to have any more personal development books or speakers or seminars or courses. Is that what you're saying?
Right. The shift comes from looking for a solution to having the solution and then expanding the solution. So when I learned about energy and I recognized that it was this huge thing that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
And it blew my mind that there's a hidden realm of information and understanding this world that we live in, that if you're aware of it, it can completely change your life and completely give you powers and insight that can literally make changes that quick.
What was the first time that you saw that and you actually believed that it was true?
Well, first I thought I recognized, all of these things that I had learned, they came together in a synergy. And then it dawned on me like, whoa, it's the energy, this thing that was inside me, I call it the gremlin or the goblin, this thing that we fight every day in our thoughts, the voice that tells us we're not good enough or nothing will ever work. That thing, out of all the personal development stuff I did, I could quiet it down a little bit so that I could learn how to live with it. That's what I got for 20 years of personal development. I can live with it, and function. But, that's like, being an alcoholic or a drug addict. You learn how to live with your disease, but you got to deal with it every day. I wanted to take it out. I wanted to no longer live with this. And it wasn't until I became energetically aware and learned and applied what I teach now that I was able to get that goblin out. And I was able to find, oh, this is it. This is how you do it. So I was able to get to that place that I wanted to be since I was 18, and finally got there. And then once I was able to experience what it is to live an energetic life, a high vibration energetic life, it's the most incredible thing in the world. Then I started helping other people do the same thing. And I'm located now in West Hollywood, right in this epicenter of entertainment and sports and in this area of Los Angeles. And I started getting some, celebrity clients. People had heard of me. I helped one person and they told another and they told another and they told another. And then in my office here, I had people walking in the doors that like on the cover of People magazine, I think I'm, famous people, and you go, whoa, you got problems? You're worth $500 million. You're famous and miserable as the rest of us. Only they got, $500 million and fame. And I go, wow, what an education I got. And that is that no matter how much stuff you have or how successful you are in the world, if you're not right energetically, it means nothing. And we see that over and over again. You see, powerful figures get involved with drugs, or you see, well-known actors, jumping off the buildings and committing suicide. And you think, why would they? Because in our mind, you think you got everything we could want. And the big revelation was it's the energy that people are looking for, not the stuff. They go after the stuff. Like I'm here in Hollywood, everybody, 10,000 people get off the bus here every day and think, I want to be a movie star, or I want to be a rock star, or this, because they think if I'm a rock star, then I'll be able to feel good, or that I'll show the people back home. So it's not really about the fame; it's about what it will bring. And that was a big lesson that I learned, and that I teach to my students, to be authentically energetically aware. And I believe that's what makes you long-term happy.
All right. So I want to stop you for a second. And I was just talking to one of my students, okay, who's actually in Israel at the moment. And I said to him, how do you feel on a scale of 1 to 10? Because I'm about to speak to the energy master, okay? How do you feel on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being low energy, 10 being high energy, all right? Low vibrational or high vibrational energy. And what I wanted to know is, how do you measure whether someone is low vibration or high vibration energy?
Well, that's a great question. And let me answer that. First off, it's how people feel. Because that's how I know. Why do I know energy? It's how you feel. How do you feel? How do you feel about your life? How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about where you're going? And if you're feeling good about it, that's a high vibrational energy. If you're not feeling good about it, that's a low. But let me offer this. These energies that back up a little bit. So when people ask me, give me a little synopsis about what this energy thing is, I'm saying that we live as human beings, we live on this planet. There's nothing but energy. Your energy, I'm energy, the air is energy. people, places, things, activities, everything is energy. In fact, Nikola Tesla, everybody knows him, said, if you really want to understand the mysteries of life, then you'll start to look at the things that are mysterious, the things that we don't understand, as energy, frequency, and vibration. Okay, this is very important, because what that means is that everything in life that we're dealing with has a frequency or a code or a vibration to it. And that vibration, according to my work now, has a power, a purpose, a frequency, a direction. It gives off information. So everything we're dealing with is as an information code to it. So let's just take people, for example. We are all energetic beings. We are sending off energy and we're receiving energy. Now, wouldn't it be helpful to know, in this world, things aren't what they seem to be. That's another thing that I teach. Sometimes things, people, places, and things are what they seem to be. Sometimes they're not. And when
we've gone through a year where people start to raise their eyebrows and they're like, wait, are things really as they seem to be? All of a sudden people start to wake up. There's this big movement into consciousness. And you talked about how people only really see 10 to 12% maximum of what's really going on.
Right. So talk about energy. Everything that we're dealing with is energy. Now, in this world, there's two types of energy, because this whole world that no one ever taught, this is a binary system we live in. Do you know that? You never learned that in high school. What does that mean? That means everything we're dealing with has an opposite to it. So if I'm dealing with sunny weather, I'm going to be dealing with rainy weather. If it's daytime now, it's going to be nighttime soon. If the tide comes in, the tide goes out. If things go up, they go down. If I'm dealing with women, I'm dealing with men. So no matter what we're dealing with, there's an energetic opposite to that. And this is important because everything in this world is in twos.
This is the law of duality, as you
right. This is the law. One of the things that I teach. Mm-hmm. So if everything is a dual, and we're in a duality, then energy itself has a dual nature to it. And this is what I classify as having a high vibration energy or a high frequency energy, and a low vibration and a low frequency. And these are codes to be able to decipher how things work. Now, let me explain it clearly. What's a high vibration? A high vibration energy is the energies that we want. It's the energies that we were born into: happiness, joy, peace, abundance, creativity. And this energy feels good because it moves up, it moves out.
Is it free? It's free flowing?
Exactly.
It comes to you naturally. It's your authentic state. It's your charisma.
That's it. It's who you are. It's who you are at your best self. Mm-hmm. So when you're feeling good, things are going, you're in high vibrational energy. Now, you notice when things are going good, you don't think, am I in high vibrational energy or low vibrational energy? You don't think about it because it feels so natural. But under the law of duality, if there's a high vibration energy, there's also going to be a what?
A low vibrational energy.
A low vibration energy, that's right. And this low vibration energy is just the opposite of the high vibration. So this energies are stuff like anxiety, worry, stress, doubt, fear, lack, suffering, all the stuff that we don't want. Now, these energies are active, that we interact with them every single day. And especially what we don't recognize is that this is the energy, the good energy, the high vibration energy is the one that feels natural. And this one doesn't feel natural. This is the stuff that we don't want. But unfortunately, this energy, the low vibration energy, contacts us every single day because its job is to block us feeling good. Its job is to block our high vibration energy. So have you ever had a day where you're feeling good? Let's say you have a moment where, yeah, I'm feeling good, man. It's the weekend, all is well. And then all of a sudden you get a thought, yeah, but what about that unpaid bill? Yeah, but what about the job? And you might get laid off. Or what about your elbow? Man, it hurts, man. Maybe you got cancer, God forbid. And you're like, whoa. And all of a sudden, something comes, a thought, a feeling, or emotion, it just totally takes you out of your happiness and brings you into worry or doubt or fear. This is the example of how the energies contact us. And they work in our thoughts, in our feelings, in our emotions, in our behaviors. Now, most of us don't recognize that. They don't, and that's what I call being energetically aware. So it works like this. Here we are, we're at the first of the year, January. What does everybody do this week? They make New Year's resolutions, right? Everybody wants to change and do new things. Well, has this ever happened to you? You think, wow, it's the new year. I'm going to go to the gym and start going to the gym and lose weight. If the gyms are open, go to the gym and lose weight. And I'm going to work on my diet because I need to lose 20 pounds. Okay. So how does that feel? That's a high vibration energy, right? Yeah, I'm going to look better. I'm going to be in better shape. I'm going to be healthier. Those are all high vibration.
Just imagine last year in 2020, when everyone created, New Year's resolutions and they were ready for a new chapter and a new start, moving into a new year. And then 3 months in, their plans get completely derailed. The whole world shuts down. There's a lot of negative, low vibrational energy being spread throughout the world. And then you start to see who is able to be aware of that energy, who's able to rise above the low vibrations and actually excel and lead through the tough times. What did you see during last year with all of the energies that were being spread around the world?
Well, just to finish this one example, and I'll answer your question. Most people get excited in the first of the year and they set goals. So the first week or two or three, you're going to the gym, you're watching what you eat, you're feeling better. But about 3 weeks into it, there's another energy that surfaces, and it's what I call the low vibration energy. Now, the low vibration energy's job is to sabotage, block, or resist high vibration energy. So an example of this is, it comes in, do you really want to go to the gym today? Look at those plate of donuts. You could eat those donuts. Oh, give yourself a break. And all of a sudden, there's another force that tries to pull you out of what you committed to doing. No, I should go to the gym. Oh, but it's cold. I don't feel like it. Oh, I want to eat those donuts. No, but I'm on my diet. It's the tug of war. And most of the time, the low vibration energy wins, which is why I think the figure is 89% of the people who make New Year's resolutions are done and have quit by Valentine's Day. Why? Because we have these forces, I call them energies, inside us that are trying to gain control. And if you're not aware of them, then you have a pattern of continual frustration at trying to change, because change is tough. You want to, whatever you want to change, why is it tough? It's tough for this reason. I use the iceberg analogy. We have 10% above the water. We have 90% below the water. So the 10% is the energy that we can see, and the 90% is the energy that we can't see. So I think I asked you this question, which energy sunk the Titanic? It wasn't the 10% it could see, it was the 90% it couldn't see. So I have a saying that says, that which we can see, we can control, but that which we can't see controls us. And this is the mystery of why can't we change? Why am I frustrated? Why can't my relationship work out? Or why can't I lose this weight? Or why can't I make more money? I tried this, I tried that. You tried, just like I was trying to improve myself all those years, but I didn't realize that I got to deal with the 90%, which is the energy about it, not the 10%. The 10% is your willpower. And so what's more powerful, 10% or 90%, right? It's the 10%. So this is revealing the mysteries of how human beings work. And when you're actually able to harness the high vibrational energies, that's when the changes are made. That's when you break through stuff that you've been working on your whole life, stuff that I was working on, old habits or old memories or limiting beliefs or limiting thoughts.
What was something specific that happened to you when you worked on your energy awareness? Something that specifically changed for you in your life?
I had a pattern of having not successful relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And I started dating women who looked nothing like my mother, who didn't act like my mother, but 6 months to a year later treated me exactly like my mother, which was bossy and ball busting and all this. And I thought, the first 3 times I thought, it's just a chick, and I broke up. But after the 5th time, I go, I think I got a pattern here. And human beings, we all run in patterns. You see, it's like we're like a computer. We have an operating system, just like your computer does. And that operating system is how we live our lives.
Yep.
But unfortunately, no one told us or had us realize that within our computer system, there's viruses in there. There's viruses that try to mess up the computer program. That's what viruses do. So what I call energetic viruses are habits, beliefs, or behaviors that we do that wreck our lives or upset it or cause us anxiety or pain. And they keep happening over and over and over again. And we try this thing and try that thing, and we can't seem to get that virus out. And you can't get it out because it's in your hard drive. You got to go into the hard drive to get it out. And that's what we do in energy awareness training. We recognize, if you got a problem and you don't know the answer to it, it means that the problem, the solution is in the energy realm. So when people come to me as students, they go, I got this problem. Whether it's a physical problem or it's a emotional problem. And I go, well, what have you done about it? Oh, I've seen this doctor. I've seen this psychiatrist. I've seen this.
Taken this course, read this book, watched this video, done it all.
I even had a psychologist. What was one of my students? She came to me and she said, my relationships are a disaster.
Yeah, but I think that psychologists, get really caught up in the thinking, and they're not in the feeling a lot of the time because they're being overly analytical and critical of every single minute detail. And I find that psychologists are some of the most interesting people to befriend and to date. My girlfriend is a psychologist right now. And the amount of, information that's being processed when you're having a conversation with someone like that, with a scientist or a psychologist, it's immense. And then it's like, but wait, are you feeling? Are you trusting? Where's your intuition? How does your heart feel about that? Oh, but that's not what the data or the science says, You
hit it. That's it. So the difference between me and that is I have a saying that says nothing changes until energy moves. So you can think about a problem till you're blue in the face. You can talk about it for you. And that's what the psychologist said. She's asking me about that, and I talked to her about energy patterns. And I said, oh, you've got a pattern of broken relationships. I said, have you done anything about it? She goes, I've been in therapy about it for 30 years. And I said, how's that working? She goes, I keep doing it. I said,
what do you think?
That's the definition of insanity.
What do you think is the difference, right? Because sometimes some people come to me and they go, wait, are you trying to be like a therapist? So, and I'm sure people over the years said to you, wait, Glenn, are you like a therapist? So what's the difference between, like a therapist, a psychologist, and someone like you who is a energy awareness coach?
The difference is that I don't do therapy with people. So
what do you do?
So whatever you do, if you want to talk to somebody about your painful life and how your mother, or father messed you up or something, I don't do that.
Yeah.
What people do is they come to me for energetic solutions because I work in the energy fields. So if somebody's got a situation And it's important I make that distinction because I don't do therapy. I'm not a doctor. I don't do anything like that. I work in the energy fields, and usually if you haven't got a solution to your problem after you've tried and tried and tried and tried, the answer is usually found in the energy fields.
Yeah.
In what I just mentioned, in the operating system, you got a virus in the hard drive. So and that virus is in the energy fields. So it didn't matter to me, I didn't need to know the specific situations of this. I just knew, there's an energy field, there's a virus in our energy field, and then that virus needs to be taken out.
What's usually the process that someone goes through to, get to a level of emotional and energetic freedom?
That's a great question. Usually the problem that they come in to see me for is the awakening. So just like the stuff that I had that I wanted to get rid of, it was an awakening for me.
Mhm.
It was an awakening to go, whoa, there's another level of consciousness that I haven't been aware of. And what it is, it gives you the opportunity to work on your life's issues. You see, I believe from my experience that all human beings come down here and we all have viruses in our energy fields. We're born with it. Everybody's got an issue or two or three that they want to overcome to be a better person. Somebody maybe have a problem with health, and they can't seem to be healthy, or somebody's got a problem with money, or somebody's got a problem with finding relationships. And it's just an ongoing, reoccurring thing. And what I do, they've usually been to 2 or 3 other or 20 other people to try to find an intellectual solution. But if they haven't found the solution, I know it's an energy challenge. I know that it's an energetic virus in the operating system. And what this does is, as that issue becomes clear, then people become conscious and aware of, whoa, I got some stuff to clean up in my life. I got some stuff that needs healing and needs to get dissolved, and some energy that needs to be moved. And I want to move into a high vibratory self where I can be happy. Because what I tell people is that if you learn energy awareness training, you have the ability to be happy all the time. And that your happiness and your well-being isn't dependent upon anything outside of yourself. And that's that's a big thing. But if you think about it, what is our happiness? Isn't that the number one thing we want? We all want to be happy. So when we think, well, what makes you, I say, are you happy today?
Do you think that's subjective? Do you think that some people want happiness, whereas others want wealth, and others want freedom, and others want family? Or is it pretty much a consensus that everyone wants happiness?
Well, yeah, I want everybody wants happiness, but they think they can get it in a different way. Mm-hmm. So for the average person, if I say, are you happy today? They'll go, let me think. Let's see, I got paid today, and I got my car going, and I'm gonna go out tonight. Yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I ask somebody else, are you happy today? Oh, it's a bad day. The weather is bad. Or my knee's aching up. So in other words, people use externals to judge whether they're happy or not.
It's a subjective happiness.
Right. And I'm here to tell you there's no lasting happiness in this, what I call third dimensional matrix, in this level of operation.
Sounds like unconditional happiness, unconditional freedom, and unconditional love for yourself and for everyone around you.
But that's not that you won't find that in this level, in the third dimension. That's a higher dimensional living. That's what I call energetic awareness. That's available, but you have to transcend the thinking and the operation of being in this world. Because in this physical world we live in, you're getting a little higher concepts when we talk about energy. But living in the physical world, we're looking for physical things. I want a great girlfriend, or I want a Ferrari, or I want to be a president of this company. all physical things.
Can we talk about this for a second? So let's say that you're living in the physical world, all right, and you've had a lot of people that have come to you like that, who are movie stars, okay? Yeah, I know
Yeah, I
that
have.
a lot of the guys that are listening to this might know Owen Cook, and you were his personal energy awareness coach. So when someone comes to you who has a lot of physical things, do they come with more ego, and is that harder to break down and to help them with their energy?
Some people come. Yeah, the answer is yes. Some people come with a lot of ego. Some people are very teachable. And usually the people that are my students that I teach energy to, they're teachable because they've been through a lot of suffering,
Uh-huh.
and they're in a lot of pain, and they are motivated to get that pain out, which is why they're here. But the original lesson I was mentioning is that in this physical world, there's no lasting happiness. So people want to be happy in this world. As long as you're using physicality to make you happy, it's never going to last. For example, last year, who won the Super Bowl last year? I
The
forget, but
Chiefs.
whoever it was,
The
they're not going to
Chiefs.
win it this year. I don't think. Oh, Kansas City, yeah, they won. So the year before, they might make it this time. But it's like whoever won a year later, usually they're not even in contention. So you're happy, you got this peak happiness, and the next year gone. And that's the way it works in the physical world. There's a beginning, middle, and end to everything. So we're happy when we're experiencing the beginning and the middle, but we don't like the end. And
Now,
yet everything ends in this world. And if you're not prepared to go into a higher consciousness that never ends, then it's going to be consistent frustration. And that's why people come to me, they go, I got it all. I got everything I ever wanted, and it's not enough. Or people come and say, I didn't get anything I wanted, and I'm miserable. So they're miserable if they get it. They're miserable if they don't get it, because getting it has nothing to do with the happiness. It's just physical stuff. It's pretty powerful stuff. I'll never forget a well-known actress who won the Oscar about 5 years ago. I don't mention names because people want privacy, but it's a well-known actress. About 5 years ago, she won the Oscar, and I remember her telling me, she said, I won the Academy Award, and she lives in another country. And I remember going back to my hotel room that night with the Oscar statue, and I'm the best actress in the world that I got the statue. She said, I put the statue on the table, and I sat in the chair. She said, I've never been so lonely in my life. My family's not here. They're on the other side of the world, and I'm here all alone. And she said, and I had the freaking best actress Oscar in my hand, and it wasn't enough. I thought, wow, that's and she came to me for learn energy awareness training, and that's the thing. What I was telling you about, I was looking over here for the answers, and the answers are over here in the energy. I don't care what it is that you want. It doesn't even matter. It's all connected to energy, relationships, money, career, health, status, sports, entertainment, you name it. When the energy's flowing, you'll be successful. When the energy's not flowing, you won't be successful. And that takes the mystery out of why do things happen. Isn't that true? Don't you go, why did this happen? Why did that happen? What did this happen? Well, I'll tell you, now I'm going to answer your question that you asked me earlier.
because I wanted to get more into ego and suffering. So
Okay,
a lot of
you asked me
people
a question about what's happening this year. And did I
also,
know?
yeah, also what happened with the COVID and with the energy that was going on in the world. What did you feel? What did people start coming to you with? How did you respond to them?
Great question. One of the things that I teach in my training is that energy comes in cycles.
Mhm.
And you have to know that, just like parts of the day. You have the morning, you have the afternoon, the evening, and the nighttime. If you think in the morning it's going to stay morning all day long, you're going to be disappointed. If you think it's going to be nighttime, for longer than 12 hours, you're going to be disappointed. Why? Because energy is always moving. And because it's always moving, it has different phases that it's in. So, for example, we just came last year from an incredible up phase. Prosperity-wise, stock market, people were making money. There was the last few years, there have been enormous uptick in positivity and in production.
Yeah.
Now, I was tracking that, and I knew that 2020 was going to be a downturn.
You didn't think it was going to be that bad, did you?
I didn't know it was going to be that, but you're right. You're right. But I told all my students exactly 1 year ago. I just got off doing a big broadcast for my students here, and I told them this 2020 is going to be a tough year.
Yeah.
So make sure you're prepared financially, emotionally. Make sure that you're health wise, that you're ready in case we go through tremendous tumultual. Mm-hmm. And I was right. I didn't know it was going to be, this bad, but I knew we were in for a pretty tough year, and it's going to continue that way for another 6 months. Just to let you know, it's going to continue. It's the challenges that we're dealing with are going to continue for almost this spring, maybe in the summer. So it's not over yet, but this is the worst of it. So you're going to see everything.
Now, even though you said it's going to be bad, but for some people, it was actually very good. Now that may be painful for some people to hear, and I resonate with that, and I understand. Okay, there were moments this year where it was very difficult for me as well, but I've got to admit, when I looked at things in perspective, there were certain gifts that I felt like I was given this year, certain opportunities that never would have been presented if it weren't for the circumstances that arose in the world. So I felt like, based off of what was going on, you needed to adjust your energy. You needed to move it around. Now, the question is, how do you move your energy if you are not moving? If you are stable and you're not actually changing, how can you move your energy?
Well, that's one of the reasons why I teach energy awareness training, because if you're energetically aware, you learn how to read energy patterns, and you learn how to see the signs. And when you can see the signs of what's going to happen, or where the momentum is going, you can prepare yourself. And that's the biggest benefit of energy awareness training, because this life that we live in is filled with booby traps. Mm-hmm. It's filled with traps, and things that are illusion, things that look good, but they're not, and we've all stepped into a lot of booby traps, and we've all had stuff happen to us that we didn't want to have happen. Now, if you're energetically aware, you can tend to see that these things are going to happen. I was prepared for this year, and my students were too. And I told them, there's going to be upheaval, but it doesn't have to affect you if you are prepared for it. And that's true in everything that we do. So it's like, if you're going to get into a new relationship, don't you want to know if that relationship is headed towards high vibration or low vibration? If you're going to do a job and work for some people, don't you want to know if that's going to be a great decision or a not great decision, or a place that you go? And all of the energies, remember I said everything is energy that we're dealing with, and it has a power, a purpose, a frequency, a direction, and it gives off information. So if you're energetically aware, you'll be able to know, okay, this is good for me. That's not good for me. That's something I better stay away from. That's something I can proceed to, because you're not getting BS by the talk or the thoughts. It's like the used car salesman. He said, "Oh, this is the greatest car in the world. This is great." But I teach people actually how to buy cars from salespeople. How to, if you can read the energy of what he's saying, how he's saying it, and what behavior that he's giving you, you'll know if this guy is on the level or not. You'll know if you should buy this car or not buy this car.
See, I'm relating to you in a very large way right now because I just had an experience where I started working with someone who was helping me out a lot, but um, as you said, it was like a booby trap. Like they kind of hid their energy, and then as I got to know them better and better, I started to see what they were about, which had many flaws in the personality, whether it was shaming other people or being too caught up in money, and et cetera, and et cetera. And then I had a decision to make. The decision that I had to make was, do I trust my gut and my intuition? And do I call it out? And do I say, all right, I don't want anything to do with that anymore. I need to cut it off, even though we had a plan and a process in place. I need to find a higher vibrational energy. And so I did that, but there was also like this lagging energy that's still kind of trailing me, where it was like a feeling a bit of regret or remorse. Like, why did I get caught up in that? Why did I have to go through that experience?
Well, because there's a part of you that wants to beat you up for doing stuff, for not doing stuff, for thinking about doing stuff. And this is the pull that we have inside us energetically. Now, I told people, I'll give you an example, business-wise. I had one of my students come in, and I teach what high vibration energy is and what low vibration energy is. It's one of the first things I have you learn, become fluent, so you can read energies. So I had a guy come in, and he was studying with me for a while, and he was selling securities at some place up in Malibu, and I was teaching him about high vibration and low vibration, and he said to me, Glenn, from what and he was very successful, making lots of money. He was ordering a Lamborghini or something. I mean, the guy was just rolling in dough. And he said to me, Glenn, from what you're teaching me, I think I'm working for a low vibration energy company.
Wow.
And I go, why do you think that? He goes, well, the guy who owns it is really secretive and doesn't want us to know a lot. So being secretive is low vibration energy. Sometimes we have to do stuff we don't want to do, which is violating your own ethics. And it's just that the vibe in there, I think, is more towards low vibration than high vibration. Now, one of the lessons that I teach is that high vibration energy attracts more high vibration energy.
Yeah.
Low vibration energy attracts more low. So whatever energy you're feeling, you're going to get more of it. That's why I teach people how to get out of all low vibration energy and get into high. Have you ever been around somebody who's down or depressed, and you hang around with them for 5 minutes? How you doing?
I've been that way. I go through ups and downs, right? Sometimes when I'm feeling great, naturally people are more attracted to me. They want to come and work with me. All
That's
right.
high vibration energy.
If I'm single, it's much easier to go out and get, dates and whatnot. And if I'm feeling like shit, all right, clients are falling from the wayside. No one wants to be around me. I'm feeling pity or self-doubt or loathing or unworthiness. So when I get too caught up in that emotional connection and attachment, I'm starting to suffer. I'm starting to feel pain.
So that's an example of what I talked about. High vibration energy attracts more good things. Low vibration energy attracts more bad things. But sometimes it's subtle. Sometimes it's sneaky.
That's
So
the
with
thing.
this guy,
That's the
with
thing.
this,
That in this experience as well, it was very subtle. I wasn't sure. I thought, you know what? I have good intuition. Like, let's give it a try. Let's go with it.
right. So with the guy, he said, well, I think I'm working for a low vibration energy place. And I said, well, I don't give you advice. I just say, if you're involved in anything that's low vibration energy, relationship, job, practice, habit, behavior, you're gonna suffer. That's what low vibration energy's job is, to make you suffer. So the next week he came over and he says, I decided to quit my job because I don't want to be around any low vibration energy. And I said, okay, I didn't give you that advice, but if you want to do that, that's fine. So he says, yeah, I don't want to be around low vibration energy. So a couple of weeks passed, and his buddies are still working at this place and making money hand over fist. And he says, are you sure about this? I go, energetic principles never fail. A month later, he comes back. His buddies are still there, and they're going. They called him an idiot for leaving. They're making so much money, and he's not making it anymore. And he's going, Glenn, are you sure about this? I go, energetic principles never fail. So now it's 3 months since he quit, and his buddies who are still there are buying Lamborghinis and Ferraris and everything. And he says, I said, energetic principles never fail. They don't materialize immediately, but it never fails. So 3 weeks later, that company that he was working for got shut down, got raided, and they were doing some kind of scam or false security, whatever it is, and everybody in the place got arrested. And then assets of the guy, all these big bank accounts and the Ferraris, they all got what do you call them?
Seized.
Seized. Yeah, they got seized and shut down.
Yeah.
My guy, the student, made it out of there by 3 weeks. So everybody who was connected to the company for the past 90 days had gotten in trouble. But because 3 weeks he had quit, no problem. He got to keep everything he earned, and it had nothing to do with it. Now, the next lesson he went, he goes, Glenn, energetic laws never fail. I go, buddy, you're so right. And see, that's an example.
Yeah.
So for the first 3 months, he was sweating it. He's going, oh, I don't know about this, man. You know, because that's the way the illusion works. And this is why energy awareness training is so powerful.
Now,
because on the surface, it looked like they were the winners. But the energy told him he was going to be the winner, but he had to have a little patience. So he had the patience, and now he was the winner, and they're the losers.
a lot of this, to people who aren't aware of energy or awareness for that matter, it may sound a bit spiritual. So, what do you see are the most common misconceptions when it comes to spirituality and energy awareness practice that you do?
Well, that's a great field, because you have to choose your words carefully. I tell people energy awareness training is not a religion.
Mm-hmm.
It's energy, it's science. So you can be a believer, a non-believer, an atheist, it doesn't matter. Because
what kind of science is it?
Well, sorry?
What kind of science is it?
I'll explain it to you. So we all know from our high school teachers that everything that we're dealing with has an energetic component to it. The computer you're watching on, you, me, everything are molecules in motion. Mm-hmm. Now, there are energy fields that we can see, like you're an energy field, I can see you, but there are energy fields that we can't see.
Can you see me?
You know, there are radio waves all over your room. Can't see it. There's a cell phone waves all over here. You can't see them, but you know they're there. Mm-hmm. Because that's the way it works. Mm-hmm. So my work is to be able to recognize the invisible energetic patterns that we're all involved with, that we can't see, but has a result to it. So here's an example. Energetic patterns that you can't see, but still affect us. How does that work? Okay. So have you ever dated someone and you got involved with a girl, or girls with the guys, and in the beginning, you thought, wow, they're cool. I'm attracted to them. They like me. It looks good. It feels good. It sounds good. And you dive into this relationship, right? And in the beginning, it's working great. And then pretty soon it starts to go south, and they change, or you change, or the relationship change. And now 3 months, 6 months, a year, now you're in hell. Now, what you got into for happiness is causing you immense sadness, and then you have a breakup, and then there's that breakup pain, and then you're going, oh, if only I had known then what I know now.
Toxic relationship, yeah.
I never would have gotten involved. And then your friend will say, but you saw, but it was there. She goes, and he goes, it was there. I should have known. I should have known because they did this and did this. I should have known that this was going to happen. And then I say, Why didn't you? I don't know. And I'll say, I'll tell you why. Because you weren't energetically aware to read the signals of energy and to be able to simulate them and to know whether it's going this way or it's going that way. And they go, you're right. They go, yeah, I should have known when he did this. I should have known that. And when he did that, that was going to tell me. So in other words, all the information was there. You just didn't see it. And what you don't remember what I said, what you see, you can control, but what you don't see controls you and has the big effect on us. So the power of my work is to be able to read the invisible, to be able to read the invisible energy in people, places, things, and activities, and to know, oh, no matter what they're saying, the energy never lies. People lie, right? People make up all kinds of stuff, but energy never lies. And that's the power of this. So when you become energetically aware and you can read, that's high, that's low, that's a green light, that's a red light. It doesn't matter what they say. It's a matter of what the energy says. And that's the power, that's the superpower that I teach people, to be able to know what the tendency of something's going to happen. So anyway, to answer your question about spirituality, what this does is it expands your awareness that there's more going on in life than you can see. And your awareness of energy and higher dimensions and what sometimes religion calls, an infinite, unlimited presence,
God,
or infinite possibilities. Mm-hmm. Sometimes quantum physicists call, there is a field of all possibilities, or mm-hmm. quantum space. You start to really get it, because you can see it, you can feel it. Oh yeah. When I teach people to go into very high states of awareness, you really get, whoa, there's a lot more going on here than I thought. And that's how you grow personally. That's how interacting with the energy moves you up and forward. And that's how you become really attuned to this. You can call it spiritual. You can call it being more attuned to energy, because that's what we're talking about. But it's your experience. It's not somebody tells you to believe a certain thing or this thing. No, it's like your experience. That's what you go. That's the only thing you can go on and trust, is your experience.
Glenn, who do you love working with? Who do you want to see more of come into your, circle in 2021, so you can completely change their life through energy awareness?
Boy, I love working with people who have been working on themselves for a while, and who got to a point where they go, I know I'm capable of so much more. I know that if I could actualize my potential, I could be more, I could have more, I could do more. And I've been looking for a way to do it, and I haven't found it yet. Those are the people who flourish, with energy awareness training. The people who they want more for themselves, and they're open to being taught. And they've had the experience of they've been around the block a couple of times, trying to deal with issues or stuff in their life, and they haven't been able to do it. So I love working with them, because they make the fastest results. People who are really hungry for change, hungry for success, and who are teachable. They do really great with my program.
And your program, is it a one-on-one mentorship?
Well, I have a different ways of teaching. I started with that. I teach this personally in a premium coaching set, as I was doing in my office until the COVID came. I also have video courses mm-hmm. that people can learn. It depends upon their budget and time frame and what they're interested in. But they can either get one-on-one premium coaching with me, or they can learn through video modules. And I think this year I'll be setting up some more live classes too.
Amazing. Now, the final question that I ask most of the guests on the podcast is, how do you want your life to evolve in 2021, especially through your energy and through your awareness?
Well, I had, it's interesting you asked me that question. I had the experience of working with many people this year, but a couple of them come to mind. One, I was helping. She had one of my students had a life-threatening disease that came to me and wanted to work on that. She was working with medical professionals, but she wanted to work with energy. And I found that there was a lot of stuff there, energetic wise, that was causing her a lot of stress and anxiety, which shuts down the body. So we kind of finished our work here at the end of the year, and she went in, and she was that threatening condition. She no longer has it, and she called to thank me for my part in her recovery, and the feeling of that is just phenomenal. And then just within the last 4 or 5 days, I had a student of mine in Switzerland contact me, wishing me a happy new year and saying, Glenn, thank you if it wasn't for your work, when I found your work, I was 2 days away from suicide. And I think I would have done that if I hadn't found your work. And I went, whoa, just to be able to have that kind of positive effect on people. I mean, those are extreme cases, but I just did a session a couple hours ago where a guy said, I learned how to love myself. I learned how to feel good in my own body. And I didn't feel that way for 35 years. And now I like being me. Wow. To be able to do that, and to do that on a mass scale, which I'm trying to expand the work here. That's what I'm looking for in 2021, to be more of service, to help more people, and to enjoy the ride while I'm doing it.
Well, you have such powerful energy, and I'm sure anyone listening was probably captivated by your voice and is going to be compelled to reach out to you and learn more. So where's the best place that they can find you?
Good. I hope they do. You can contact me at email. You can email me at energytitan@gmail.com, energytitan@gmail.com. You can go to my website, energyawarennesstraining.com, energyawarennesstraining.com. And I love talking to people. I'm accessible. I let people ask me questions, and I'm here to help. It's getting kind of busy now, so either if you write me, either myself or my assistant will get back to you, and we're here to help and be of service.
Glenn, it's been such a pleasure to connect with you over the last few weeks, and I really appreciate you coming on to my space and sharing your voice and your energy with this audience. So you guys know the deal. If you enjoyed the podcast, drop a like, drop a comment, reach out to Glenn, share this with a friend who would benefit from it as well. And we hope to see you again sometime soon, Glenn. Thank you so much.
David, thank you so much for having me. God bless.
God bless you.